This one mistake is keeping you from investing properly in your IRA. All right, this is a pet peeve of mine that's been going on for a long time, and I've yet to see a fix on this, to be honest with you. It's annoying to me as all can be. But I'm telling you, it's hurting your investing. That really, I know this for a fact. All right, so let me give you an example. A number of years ago, I was working with a guy named Charlie from South Carolina. Charlie has since passed on. A real nice guy. I liked him quite a bit, actually. But he made this fundamental flaw in analyzing his investment accounts. At USAA, he had an S&P 500 index fund. And he was definitively assured that he had lost money in that fund he had held that fund for years, decades even. I think even going back to like the early 90s. And he was definitively saying that this fund has lost money. He hadn't made any money. I said, that doesn't make sense. And I remember it's talked probably in 2011, 2012, something like that. Even after the aughts decade, I said, nah, that doesn't make sense. All right. So long story short, I said, well, I don't get how you could say that. And I said, have you been getting in and out of that fund, like trading it? He goes, no. I said, have you been adding to it? He goes, no, not anymore. I'm not adding to it because I haven't made any money. And I said, that doesn't make sense. So anyway, so I said, show me what you're talking about. So he got online. He showed me his accounts. And lo and behold, it did have a negative return. Right? It said he had lost money in the account. All right, so his cost basis was worth more than his current cash value. Cost basis was worth more than his current cash value, thus he lost money. I hope you know where this is going. Now, this is an IRA, like I said. So I said, all right, let's look into this. So I got off the phone with him, I did some research, and then, boom, I saw what was going on. So let's just say in 1993, you dump $100,000 in the S&P 500 index. And I'm just using this for a nice simple number because I got a simple mind, and I like to keep things simple for my simple mind to be able to apprehend. So in 1993, you dump $100,000 in the S&P 500 index. All right. Now, what happens all that time is that over the course of the years, let's go this way. Let's go get a treat. Come on. Let's go, look at this guy. No, let's go get a treat. Over the course of the years, the S&P 500 is paying dividends and it's paying capital gains. Charlie was reinvesting those dividends and capital gains into more shares, as well he should have been. All right, so he put $100,000 in there, and because of those dividends and capital gains reinvested, that moves his cost basis up to just say $115,000, just for simplicity. Because the computer says, look, you've been paying, every time we have a dividend or capital gain paid to you, it increases your cost basis. All right, now just hang in there. This is critically important. So in this case, he put $100,000 in there. His cost basis is $115,000. So according to Charlie, all right, does that make sense? All right. Now, what was his account value? Well, his account value is 110. So Charlie sees what the computer is actually showing him, that he has a $5,000 loss. Cost basis 115. His current market value, 110. The computer shows a negative $5,000 in terms of gain-loss reporting. So it shows in the red $5,000. So Charlie sees that. He said, man, I've lost money. I'm down $5,000. Because on the computer and on his statement, it shows a red for gains or losses. It says losses, $5,000. But what Charlie forgot is how much did he actually put into the fund. He put $100,000 in there, all right? So if you put $100,000 in there, and right now it's worth if you sold it, it's worth 110, have you lost or made money? Well, you've made money. You made $10,000. You're up 10% from your initial deposit. The software is showing you had 115,000 cost basis. So the software shows if you sell, you're down $5,000. But the software is wrong because this is an IRA. You paid no taxes on those dividends and capital gains and income reinvestment. None whatsoever, because it's an IRA. It's either tax deferred or it's tax free, depending on if it's a Roth or traditional. You have lost no money. You have made $10,000. Because of the dividends and capital gain reinvesting, you've actually made $15,000 of income. But right now, because the price has dropped, it's only worth 110, but you still are ahead of where you were. You started with 100, you're at 110. Yeah, it's 2010 when I was talking with Charlie. That's right, I remember that. And this is literally after the market, came off its bottom of March 9th of 2009. So in this case, it was the market showed a negative return relative to cost basis, but he was still way up relative to his initial deposit. And he hadn't put any more money in, and he hadn't taken any money out. But he had a negative return from gain. Again, it's going to show on your statement or show when you log in, because most people don't look at statements anymore, they just log in. It's going to show a positive or negative value. In this case, it showed a negative value of $5,000, whatever it was. And when I told him this, unfortunately, Charlie did not believe me. Again, he's a nice guy, but he said that doesn't make sense. Why would USAA do that? And I said, it's not just USAA, it's all kinds of brokerage firms. They say at the software that's imputing the increase in cost basis relative to the increase or decrease in market value doesn't care or doesn't make a differentiation between an IRA and a taxable account. Because if this were a taxable account, this would be 100% correct. He has 115,000 cost basis. He has $110,000 market value. That means he's down $5,000 because he had to pay tax on all the capital gains, dividends, and income he received. So from a tax perspective, on a non-IRA account, this is 100% correct. He put in $100,000. He has a taxable basis of 115, but he has a net asset value, market value of 110. Thus, he has a $5,000 loss. The difference between your taxable basis and your initial investment is what the software is recognizing and what the software is telling you if you have a gain or loss. In this case, though, in an IRA, his taxable basis is still $100,000. Well, not even a taxable basis. It doesn't matter because there is no tax basis in an IRA. But his initial investment is all that matters. He put $100,000 in there. It's worth 110. He's made money. Unfortunately, because he said, I haven't made money in 15, 20 years since I've been holding this. I'm not going to invest anymore, and I want to sell it. And if memory serves, he did do that. He did do that. I actually think he might have even got the gold fund back then. Because he looked at the gold fund and he said, man, that fund's kicking butt. I've made nothing in 20 years in the S&P 500. Let me just buy the gold fund. And then he just got crunched. He missed out. Hey, he bought the gold fund, it was way high. And he bought the S&P, he sold the S&P 500 at the beginning of a huge bull market where it averaged, 17% a year from 2009 till today, something like that. Oh, man. Don't make that mistake. Everybody does it. You have to know what you're in an IRA. The only thing that matters is what your initial deposit was. Or if you're making monthly deposits, what your total deposits are, your total investments. It matters not what your cost basis is, because your cost basis is always zero in an IRA. You pay tax on everything. Hope that makes sense. Love to hear your comments. I will see you.